and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today we catch up with V as we dive into his latest single, Winter Ahead. This is a beautiful new collaboration with Park Hyo Shin, which also adds to the growing collection of V's winter releases. The both of them also participated in writing the lyrics this time, which express the warmth and safety of a love that can bring happiness even in the harshest seasons of life. Winter is ahead, so the song invites us to spend it side by side by the fire, in a paradise able to protect us from the storm raging outside, and comforted by a love that will endure throughout the seasons. The concept of the song is very much highlighted in the music video, which in and of itself is a cinematic experience portraying themes of isolation, artistic self-expression, as well as the tireless search for love and companionship. These themes are always very dear to V. Back in Layover, most of the tracks focused on the longing for love and that struggle with isolation, and in Rainy Days we already got a glimpse of his interest in sculpture. In Winter Ahead, this concept is developed even more, this time also drawing inspiration from the myth of Pygmalion and Galatea. In the myth, Pygmalion was a very talented sculptor that tried to create a statue representing his ideal woman. The result was a creation he called Galatea, a sculpture so beautiful that Pygmalion ended up falling in love with her. He became so desperate that he prayed to Venus, and Venus responded by turning Galatea into a real woman so they could live happily ever after. In the video, this myth is readapted to fit this concept, with him playing the role of a modern-day Pygmalion falling in love with a creation that saves him from the isolation of the winter ahead. When his Galatea comes alive, his loneliness is forgotten. Like in the myth, she's an ideal, a literal dream come true, and her arrival fills that gap that nobody was there to fill before. Now, on a metaphorical level, I think that this concept can also be read as a reflection on the relationship between artist and art. That's definitely another layer to take into account here. An artist that is lonely, isolated, and maybe even alienated from society can always find comfort and solace in the art they create. The statues you carve, the people you draw, the characters that you write, they can all become a comforting presence in the life of those that create them, and sometimes they can become as familiar as the people that actually exist. As we see in the video, this Pygmalion not only creates his Galatea, he creates an entire crowd of people to share his life with. The big castle that is initially empty is suddenly filled with people, a family, which the protagonist can now share his paradise with. The shadow of isolation, however, is never truly gone, because these people never leave the estate. We see him out and about, leaving the palace, window shopping for a present, strolling around with a teddy bear, or a winter bear if you will, but even then he's alone. Loneliness is a lingering condition for this Pygmalion, and soon enough this winter fairy tale takes a much darker turn. As glimpses of the sad truth start to creep in, the protagonist tries to live in the moment. He throws a winter party fitting for a winter king, but when Galatea brings out the cake and he blows out the candles, the vibe suddenly changes. All of a sudden, the woman inviting fantasy turns into a chaotic mess that gets more and more unsettling. It's almost as if blowing the candles caused a reverse wish to be realized. Instead of having a wish come true, V has his wish for companionship suddenly stripped away from him. It's as if he's forced back to reality to face the truth, and even if he tries his best to ignore it, when a light blinds him, Galatea and the others suddenly disappear. In an unexpected turn of events, V is confronted by another V, dressed in a black coat and bleeding black blood. The outfit is very reminiscent of Black Swan here. It kinda gives the impression that the protagonist is coming face to face with his own shadow, his own dark side, which, as we see in a second, is kind of a half-truth. If up until now we were under the impression that V was the sculptor creating his loved one and signing his creation with a V on the neck, now we discovered that he himself is a creation. This is actually a twist that was also foreshadowed by the red butterfly in the window. This is a symbol of metamorphosis that literally takes the place of his reflection when he looks at it. It's even red like the jacket he's wearing, so little clues were already there. If you look closely, Dark V doesn't have a mark on his neck the way Red V does, so we can assume that he is the original artist. If we try and make sense of the flashbacks, it looks like the artist was working on his own bust, but then he became unsatisfied with it and tried to destroy it. When doing so, however, the statue gained consciousness and eventually came alive. In the final reveal, we also see that Galatea was one of the artist's other creations. She was still unfinished, so when he came to life, V the creation fell into an elaborate delusion where he believed to be the creator in control. He finished his Galatea, and Galatea came to life just like him, and so did the other statues left unfinished. The return of the artist causes the creation to snap out of his illusion and remember the truth, so his perfect loved one and all of his friends disappear because they never existed in the first place. This causes a lot of pain to the creation who finally faces reality, but by the end their confrontation ends with a smile. In the video, the creator and the creation exist in stark contrast with each other, but they're also two sides of the very same coin. The artist, for instance, is dressed in black and even bleeds black, black, possibly representing the struggle and pain of creation. It's like we saw in Black Swan, right? Like we learned in Blood, Sweat and Tears. You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star, which is why art is so difficult to make. In turn, V, the creation, represents the purest form of self-expression. It's the beautiful result of all that work, and ironically enough, as a statue is a literal idol. One V portrays the artist and the creator in control, while the other is the idol, trying to gain control and become the creator himself. There is almost a loop going on, a full circle moment, which, if you remember, was a concept already foreshadowed back in Rainy Days. By the end, isolation is not defeated, but in the last shot, V gives us one final look in a field full of flowers. Even if winter is ahead, maybe this song can keep us company until the spring runs by and summer starts to burn. That's when V will come back together with the others, but for now this is all I have for you. In the meantime though, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you want to support me, now I have merch linked in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.